Live from across the world, it's Saturday night and Sunday morning at the same time with Ricefield Records and somewhere in Japan, we don't know, and Uncle Dan the Vinyl Man from somewhere in Minnesota and somewhere either east or west of Michael. In fact, I'm both east and west of Michael.
You are. You are.
Yes. Michael
welcome. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody.
Okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, now just me screwing around. Okay, so we've got our first topic. We're going to jump right in.
Yes, we are.
First topic.
And
new acquisition.
You want me to show it? Okay. Here you go. Here you go. Hold on.
Well, I'm holding on.
I know. I know. It's funny because here we go. You're on, my friend. You're on.
Okay, Dan's new acquisitions. Dan has some things. First up.
Yes. Oh, yes. Hold on.
Lester Bowie's Brass Fantasy. I only have eyes for you. Purchased at the recommendation of Mr. Ricefield Records. Great condition as new and a great album. Just fun, with 9 musicians altogether, 8 of them playing brass, trumpet, flugelhorn, trombone, French horn, tuba, and then a drummer. Very fun, great stuff. Very, both very melodic, but also, they're messing around. Which I like. So that's a great album, and I recommend it to anybody who likes jazz, and especially anybody who likes trumpet jazz.
I think they recorded some other records.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, I think so. I need to just look for them.
Enjoy this one.
Next up, these are sealed because I just got these today. So
that is such a good record, Dan. That is such a good record.
Yeah. So I just found it, and I just thought, I got to pick this up on vinyl, right? They're just classic, right? So
is that a reissue?
Yeah, it's a reissue, $26.99. It's new. Yeah, sourced from the original master, 180 gram audio vinyl. I don't know whether I don't know how. I don't know how how the sound quality is because I got back from the Twin Cities and I've been going since then. Also, and in addition.
Oh, you like her?
Nico Case, the great Nico Case with a Mamiya 6. I don't have a Mamiya 6. Those are
that's a big box. That's a big box camera. Oh no, that's a what's it called when it has the diaphragm?
It's a 6x6. It's a 6x6 camera. It's a roll film camera. I've got a couple of them. I've got 3 Mamiyas or more, but this is a really nice 6x6 camera that maybe maybe it's an RZ. I've got an RB67. This may be an RZ67. It's a very nice camera. Yeah. And she's also, looks like she's on the way to getting undressed.
Yeah.
This is all, this is except for one song, Oh Shadowless, which I haven't had a time to listen to. I'm not sure when this came out, 2022. This has been out a while. I just hadn't picked it up as much as I love her because, I had actually been like, it's just old stuff I've got on, everything else. But I decided I had to have it anyway, and it does have a new song on it, which I haven't listened to.
Is this her newest release?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she hasn't come out with all new stuff in 4 years or something. She was on every other year thing, but not anymore. And then I have this.
Yes.
I have this.
Ooh, what is that?
This was at my door, and Michael, I thought that You know,
Oh,
I thought,
you're gonna cut a dude.
I thought
Don't
maybe,
careful.
Michael, I thought, Michael, that you might, look at that. Oh,
There could be anthrax in there, Dan. I'd wear
but
some
listen
nasal
to this.
protection.
Listen to that. Listen to that. Oh, rough. Oh, kind of rough, right? But that knife is really sharp.
You are one sick puppy. One sick puppy. Does that constitute assault because you're talking about me and using that knife at the same time? Is that
No,
assault?
no, no.
Lucky I have you to explain that to me. Look at that.
Yeah, no, and or you could talk to another lawyer who would laugh at you more. So,
would he say "habla español"? I got a private chat.
He'd say, it's a good thing you're living in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, and this has been out a week, but I hadn't had a chance to pick it up. Lucinda Williams, Stories from a Rock and Roll Heart, brand new. Well, sorry, I got the backside up. I think actually I have, albums by two of the greatest songwriters around now and vocalists, Lucinda Williams and Nico Case. I consider them just fabulous musicians, fabulous vocalists. And then, of course, one by another, one of the great vocalists, right? Janis Joplin. So three of the great women vocalists there. I do. It's my artists. I listen to female vocalists more than male, putting aside Dylan. And then among African American artists, I'm much more willing to listen to the male vocalists. But as Muddy Waters said one time, a white man can't vocal like a black man. So, although there are, let's be clear, great. I'm joking around. There are, of course, great. Hey, do we have Bobby?
Well, Bobby's we got him in the private chat. He was in the private chat, and I sent him the link. I know he's watching. He's probably en route because
I see him. I see him.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. Oh,
you're right. Lord.
You were there the whole time.
I mean, yes, I have been here the whole time. I was actually there before when I was making the comments and stuff. But whatever. It's okay. I don't care. I don't mind watching. It's a good acquisition.
Well, Bobby, I'll tell you beforehand. I'll tell you that we were chatting before, and Michael said, "Gee, I hope Bobby doesn't show up. I'm just so tired of Bobby." And he's just.
I heard that. I was there for that.
He said Bobby doesn't really know any. He said Bobby doesn't really know anything about music. I don't know why we ever listened to.
Yeah, I saw that Nico Case album and stuff like that. Was that ever? Was that like one of her older stuff? It's the newest one. It's the newest reissue.
Yeah, it's a compilation. It's a compilation.
Yeah, because I've seen a bunch of stuff in the record stores with her. Is it a new release this Friday?
No, it's out. It's 2022.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see if they had any. If they have anything off of the Virginian. I don't think so. Although I can't remember. It's funny they do. Set Out Running is my favorite by her. I saw her live in 2002, which is when I discovered her. Was 2002.
They've had a lot of good. Yeah. There's a lot of good reissues that have been out in the past couple weeks and stuff like that. Have you been following any of the Tone Poets or the acoustic sound stuff?
Man, I saw that. I saw there was a bunch. I did, and I was thinking of getting it, but I walked into the. It's funny. In summer, I have to take my dogs with me.
Yeah.
I can't leave them here all that time. But I can't leave them in. I can't leave them in the car very long because it just heats up so fast, even with the windows down some. And I don't have a way to leave the car running. So I just dashed in and out today, and I saw the Janis Joplin, and then I saw the Nico case, and I was like, that's about all I got time for. They had some Tone Poet stuff there in new releases, some of the Tone Poet stuff.
The Sonny Clark trio was one of them, and the Hank Mobley Caddy for Daddy.
Yeah, Hank Mobley. Yeah, I saw both of those in an email I get from one of the record stores in the city.
There.
That's the Caddy for Daddy that I picked up. I mean, I had to. I love that song. Yeah,
you cheat yourself up.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, like they've been releasing like a lot of good stuff, but they also did you get the songs for Distinguished Lovers, Billie Holiday?
No, I saw that was out, and I was like, and again, I'm like, it's been a mess lately, me getting down and doing any shopping, and
I've been tough though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of those records you probably already have copies of, like the Stan Getz one, the Bossa Nova one, the one with the red or whatever. I forget. I have like 5 copies of it over there, and they reissued a new one on Acoustic Sound. So it's like it's not the Girl from Ipanema. It's the other one with One Note Samba on it. It's a great record. I love it, but do you really want to, purchase a record just because it was mastered by Kevin Gray when you already have, tons of copies of it?
No.
Well, yeah.
I have a problem when I hear the name Kevin Gray.
Yeah, he's okay, but my problem with
mine has nothing to do with him. Mine has this is a guy I knew in grad school named Kevin Gray. Oh man. It cannot be the same guy.
Don't.
Kevin Gray is a great mastering engineer, but his sound is not for everybody because he tends to smooth stuff out a lot and pump the bass up, and some people like it, some people don't. You know what I mean? Is there any Kevin Gray fans in the comment section? I don't even know.
We have a comment section. Is this thing on? Manny's here. I see that. I've got my I can't see my computer because I've got it way far away from me. So I can have my great big. Oh, look at that! Look at my microphone.
Yeah. I thought that the topic of today was supposed to be is record collecting like a mental illness or something like that. Didn't you guys say something about that?
Yeah, that's yeah. So the question for the day is, well, we got Bobby's new acquisitions. Let's talk about those.
Let's do that next.
All right.
That's what you got. Done.
All right.
Make him big and biggen him.
Okay.
Okay, this is
There you go.
Yeah, hold on.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah.
Oh,
you talking?
Threw him out.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
All right. Well, anyways,
hold on.
Okay.
There you go.
Hold on.
Man.
There it is. Caddy for Daddy.
I haven't done this.
Look at that. Isn't that a great cover, though?
That is a great cover.
Look at it. I mean, it's the Tone Poet. The only thing that I hate about the Tone Poets is, obviously what comes with every single tone, that sleeve. I hate these sleeves. These little ones.
Don't even start.
You know what I hate about them?
What?
I hate that they sound so goddamn good.
They do. They sound great, and they cost too damn much. I picked up this one, another one, just because it's like a lot of times you see these. Hold on, I'm ripping the damn price off the thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
okay, but look. Okay, see, it says a stereo right underneath that, but then they put a mono sticker over it. You know how like on sometimes they do that.
Yeah.
Production problems. Just.
Yeah, but I mean, Otis Redding, I picked this up for like $5. It's in good condition. It's a Volt pressing, so it's not like a later reissue, Atlantic reissue. So it's in mono. So I picked it up because why the heck not? It's in mono. Seems like it would be good. I also
that has got to be one of the worst illustrations I've ever seen of an artist.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
But the reason I already have a copy of this, but the reason why I got that is because it was in the shrink and it had the silver bullet right over there that says Werewolves of London on it, featuring the hit. So, I grabbed that. It was great. It's a great record. Yeah.
Or the tone poet's tone deaf. I don't know.
And this one,
never listened to poets.
Every time I freaking see this record, I have to buy it. This one.
Oh yeah.
Do you know this record?
No. I don't own it, but I've listened to it on I'll say this bad word. I've listened to it on iTunes. I've got it on iTunes.
Their freaking version of the Tenderly song. Oh my God, that freaking is just phenomenal. I mean, that'll get you up and freaking moving around. It's a great version of Tenderly, which is like a jazz standard. Also, I found
that.
No, that's not a reissue. It's an original pressing.
Okay. What'd you pay for it?
I paid probably
Cool Transports is here.
Yeah. Bob James, the One. You guys familiar with this one?
Nope, not at all.
This is a CTI version. The CTI label of Creed Taylor. This I grabbed because I already have a Tampanzee pressing of it. So I wanted to get the CTI original with the original Oran label and not the later pressing that says Tampanzee or whatever. But this album it's great. It's been sampled heavily in hip hop. This Nautilus is the big track off this one.
I don't know that at all.
Have you heard of Bob James?
Love the cover. Cover.
Yes, I've heard of Bob James.
Yeah, he's a piano player. He's later in the 80s. He kind of went towards make-out music. You know what I mean? Contemporary, as they call it. And this was a record. I don't know if
walk this way. No, this way. Sorry.
I don't know if I showed you. Did I show you guys this record last time?
I don't think so.
Okay, Her. Now this is a Fender player. I went out and bought this record because she's a Fender player, right? So I'm like, okay, a chick that plays a guitar and it's supposed to be like neo soul, right? But there's a lot of tracks on here where she uses like hip hop samples and there's not a lot of guitar playing. I still don't know how I feel about this. Strat,
Telly, Jazz Master. What she play?
She plays a Strat. She plays a custom made Strat. They actually, if you go on her the Fender website, they have a Her guitar because that's the name of her group.
Ain't nothing wrong with the way she looks. I say that, man.
Oh no, she's and some of her songs are actually kind of neat, but it's in the neo soul genre. And somebody told me to check her out because she was a great Fender player. So, I bought it. I've listened to it frequently, but I don't know how I feel about it yet because she uses a lot of samples that I'm quite familiar with. And I get sick and tired when people reuse the same samples over and over and over again.
Samantha Fish? You ever listen to Samantha Fish?
No, I haven't. You can make me small. Okay, Samantha Fish. What type of
she's pretty bluesy.
Bluesy.
Yeah, she just kills it, man. She freaking smokes it. Of course, I was thinking Manny's saying a couple of girls who play guitar. Yeah, there have been a number of women guitarists, of course. Samantha Fish is one I think of right now. And you know who does a Neil Young tribute and plays guitar in the Neil Young tribute band? Is Nora Jones.
Really?
Yeah, I forget the name of it. Puss in Boots, and and she plays guitar and she plays like Down by the River and stuff like that. So
she's a piano player though normally, right? But she plays a little guitar, huh?
Man,
her father was a freaking.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, and she's got a great voice. I think she's just fabulous. I love her.
I wonder if he ever claimed her after that. You know what I mean?
I don't know I know that she grew up. He was largely he was estranged from her mother, and
yeah.
And she
what?
Didn't have much.
Who's her mother?
Her mother.
Her mother's not famous, but her
Miss Jones.
Her father's obviously Ravi Shankar. I think he was mostly on tour when she was growing up, and like, I mean, I think he admitted later. I don't know if he, I don't
know. It's well known. I mean, it's well known that she's Ravi Shankar's daughter, but but I don't know that, I don't know what he ever did about it. She's talked some about it, but not a great deal. I think she's, she gets smack talked some for, because she was, Come Away With Me was, such a huge hit back in 2002, 3, something like that. Sold a ton of stuff. And it's kind of easy listening, but it's actually really great too. I think she's great, and
the whole record is great. That album is just phenomenal. I remember when it first came out.
That's a great album. I saw her live in Seattle. I don't know, 2004, 2005, something like that.
No, I saw her live in the East.
And she, she was playing, and the fire alarm went off just by accident. And everybody knew, and they like immediately came on and said, "We have it. It's not a problem. You can stay seated." But the fire alarm kept going on, and it wasn't too loud, and they played over it, and they got in the key, and she kind of riffed on the fire alarm, which I thought was cool. Well, I think
no live concert came out of that, huh?
What? Sorry.
No live concert came out of that.
No. Yeah. Joe Satriani Shockwave Supernova. Bobby, I don't know what you think of Satriani.
He's a good guitar player. That's all I'll say.
Great guitar player, but it's like, man, just leaves me cold.
It's I don't know why I don't dig his stuff. When he first came out with Surfing with the Alien and stuff, like, and then Summer Song, or I guess was his big thing. To me, Summer Song sounds like the fucking CBS basketball thing that they used to have, like the little intro they used to have before they freaking played the basketball games and stuff. But I mean, he taught a lot of people, a lot of great guitar players.
Yeah, that's right. He does share that a lot, but he was one of those guys. One of the too many notes guys for me.
Yeah, he is too. And see, the thing about him, how like you can hear people like if they're trying to play a cover of somebody, if they're trying to do, Clapton, or if they're trying to do, Hendrix. When Satriani tries to play Hendrix or tries to play Clapton, he still sounds like Satriani. And for some reason, I don't know whether it's because every guitar player searches for a tone that they like and a sound that that they like. And
be yourself.
Maybe it's his I don't know. I just whatever it is, whatever he's doing, when he writes his music, it's just
I like him better than like the Bach and rollers, like Yngwie Malmsteen.
I like him. I say I could say that. I like Steve Vai better than him.
I'm with you there. Steve Vai is better than him. But all the shredders are like, to me, it's just like, yeah, okay, that's great. You can play really fast.
Well, right. I mean, there's some shredders that are good. Like Van Halen was freaking phenomenal. I liked him.
Yeah. Well, and people like, although, I look at somebody like, a guy you wouldn't think of as a shredder, although he shredded, was Danny Gatton, right?
Yeah.
Danny Gatton could freaking smoke, and he could play faster did play faster than like Roy Buchanan.
Who did he play with?
Danny Gatton. He played, just by himself. He was.
But he did some session work, right? Yeah, but he did session work, didn't he?
Maybe a little bit, but I mean, he had, he was plagued. He was one of those plagued by demons guys, right? Him and Roy Buchanan both. But Buchanan, I thought was a better guitarist. He was just more interesting. He didn't play as many notes, but it was melodically more satisfying to my mind. I'm trying to see. Yeah. So
I don't understand why. Okay, like, what do you think of Eric Clapton? Everybody thinks he's like one of the best guitar players. I don't understand how he's always like people have him at top 3.
Man, he just, I don't know that
he's good.
He's good, but he copies a bunch of people.
Right.
Here's though the thing. Like, if you listen to like the 70s albums after, his, EC was here and stuff like that, a lot of that stuff is really boring.
Yeah. I'll take Buddy Guy or Hubert Sumlin over them any day. Over Clapton any day.
Hubert Sumlin, Buddy Guy, yeah. I mean,
well, right, but they're like, you know what, how they say, like, they're licks. I mean, his licks are tasteful, like Sumlin and Hound Dog Taylor too. I mean, and Buddy Guy, like the licks that they come up with are just, they're freaking awesome. It's just like, you like their ideas and how they, execute them.
Clapton, and Clapton, it seems to me, was always and has remained an imitator, and he's played his best when. I mean, I think that his best was Derek and the Dominoes, but Duane Allman was there kicking his ass.
Yeah, he wasn't even the best guitar player.
No, he was, and he was trying to keep up with Duane Allman, who liked Clapton and enjoyed playing with him, but he had to have somebody there with him to do it. But I've told the story probably before, but did you know Little Charlie and the Nightcats? A jump blues band out of jump blues, sort of rockabilly, jump blues. They were doing, before Brian Setzer started doing some of the Stray Cats stuff, some of the rockabilly and stuff like that. Little Charlie was doing that, and talk about a guy who could shred. Little Charlie could shred when he wanted to. He was really great. I saw in '87. I saw him open for Hooker. And Little Charlie got up, and it was a great band trio with quartet. Little Charlie on guitar, bass, drums, and a guy named Rick Estrin, a very, very good, fine harmonica player and vocalist. And they got up and put on a great show, and Little Charlie smoked it. Hooker got up. His band played a while. Hooker came out, sat down, hit like 2 notes, and just destroyed it. Just freaking killed it.
What the fuck?
Albert Collins would just, just wipe people out with like one, he just smack it, and it'd be like, and it was like everybody was destroyed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You see that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's freaking Vegas.
Buddy Guy. Yeah, Buddy Guy. I saw Buddy Guy in '94, and that's the only time I've seen him.
You know what's funny? Like, that's the thing about Buddy Guy. Like, Buddy Guy has toured so much that I think I don't really know many people that haven't seen him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he played. Anyway, I saw Buddy Guy, and I called my brother after that, my brother Al, and said, "Hey, I never saw I never saw Hendrix, but I've seen Buddy Guy, man. So I feel like, it's okay."
Yeah, Buddy Guy is phenomenal.
And I had seen Stevie Ray Vaughan back in '84, and I just thought there was no comparison. Buddy Guy was. Yeah,
Buddy Guy was constantly back in my area, he was at Toad's Place or Lupo's Heartbreak Hotel. You've been to Lupo's, right?
No.
No, I mean, Mike, you've been to Lupo's, right?
I've been there many times. Yeah, many times.
Yeah.
I saw Talking Heads at Lupo's.
Yeah, Lupo's had all the greatest people. I mean, Nirvana played at Lupo's. Oh, great place. Buddy Guy was there all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, those guys, I mean, but all the great blues guys, some like, Hound Dog played some Elmore, right? But, he made it his own.
What's sad about all these guys is none of those guys have any money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't make money. And didn't like Clapton play for a couple of them their funerals or something like that? I mean, it's just sad. You know, like all those people like Clapton, freaking Led Zeppelin.
BB was, yeah, I mean Led Zeppelin just ripped the fuck off out of it.
Well, right. A lot of the music coming out of the British invasion was a ripoff of a lot of the blues, and they got rich off of it.
Yeah. And people like I don't know how much money like Howlin' Wolf had when he died.
Yeah.
But he was freaking, incredible musician.
Great. Yeah.
And
a voice like it.
Well, they didn't sell as many records as the British artists, right? I mean, their stuff was still registered as copywritten songs.
Yeah, but your generation freaking played the shit out of some freaking Howlin' Wolf and a lot of those records, you know?
Sure.
SRV, by the way, also played a bunch with Albert King. And Albert put up with him. And Albert King was known for being Albert King was not a patient man.
No.
He didn't put up with shit. But he, there's video of, I think, a whole video of it, DVD. Fuck, I've got it somewhere.
I never got to see Stevie Ray Vaughan live. He died too early for me, and I was, I think he died.
I saw him February 11, 1984. It was terrible.
Really, Stevie Ray was no good.
It was. He was playing in a small venue at the Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, and about a 5,000 seat venue, and it was a theater designed for live plays, live theater.
Yeah,
and Albert King, the Velvet Bulldozer, and it was designed for that. And Stevie came in, and at the time he was playing a Dumble, and he just overdrove the fuck out of the place. It was mud. It was mud. I was there with my girlfriend at the time, who was then my second wife, Heidi. And we started off, we had very good seats because he wasn't well known. And there weren't a lot of people in the show. And I knew who he was from Guitar Player magazine, and I was excited about him. I had one or two of his albums. I can't remember which one he was touring on then, but we went.
Texas Flood, right?
What's that?
84 probably was Texas Flood, right?
I think so. Yeah. Maybe that was I can't even remember which was the first. I think that was his second though.
Maybe.
Anyway, we started off, we were real close to the stage, and I could see him, and he was playing behind his head and playing behind his back, and put the guitar down on the stage with just the strap, and was beating his guitar up and down, with just on the strap.
83, 84 Texas Flood came out, so he probably would have been about promoting that one. Yeah,
I think it was promoting that. But we kept moving back, and we finally went up into the balcony, way up into the balcony, and it was somewhat tolerable up there. It was painfully loud.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
It was painfully loud, and it was just mush.
Well, you can't go into a venue like that with a stack of freaking Marshalls. You know what I mean? It's just not.
Well, he had a Dumble. I think it was a 2x12 Dumble, but those Dumbles were, just painfully loud. They, a 2x12 Dumble is just, just like crazy loud, and just a ton of gain. And it was, the only thing that he played, "The Sky Is Crying," a great Elmore James song. He played that, and he dialed back on that, and that was tolerable, and he sounded great. But Stevie Ray, I think Stevie Ray was not terribly nuanced, like in terms of like rhythm and stuff like that. Very, very much chunking on the rhythm and keeping, his. He was.
Well, shit. What did he play? Freaking 14s.
He played 13s.
Yeah, he played really, really heavy strings, so that's why he was always struggling when he was playing or whatever. He used very, very heavy strings.
13s and tuned down to an E flat. So
yep.
But I mean, I still, I still respect the guy, and he brought a lot of people into the blues.
Yeah. BB King plays like eighths or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I saw BB almost exactly a month later in the same venue, and his sound was stellar. His sound was just stellar, and he worked the crowd. Oh, he worked the crowd. He was such a good showman. It was fun, really, really fun show. So same venue, and just the difference in the sound was amazing.
Oh, BB King's a professional, man. I've seen him a couple times at Foxwoods.
And, Stevie Ray was drinking
and doing boatloads of cocaine by that time in '84. He was not sober yet.
No, yeah, he was doing a lot of cocaine and drinking a bunch. He was a bad drunk right then.
Yeah.
So that was I saw him, and a lot of people never got to see him, and I was like, yeah, I saw him, and it was not a great experience.
Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you see an artist that you love, and when you see them live, it's just like, sometimes they're not that great. You know what I mean? They have a bad show. Who knows?
Yeah. So, Michael, let's talk about your new acquisitions.
Yeah.
Well, I've been kind of busy, guys, right? I mean,
excuses.
So
excuses.
Yesterday I went out for the first time and went to a place that was 2 stations away. You see that?
Yeah.
Boy, my internet's slow. So went to Vanda Records nearby, 2 stations away. And they had this nice billboard on the outside. Let's see if I can show it to you. I think this is a girl. This is a girl group, huge girl group. That's what they do in Japan, right? It's like it's a football team of artists now. It's not a single performance anymore. And so it's a big poster. And Vanda wasn't in my book. And the bad news is that Vanda doesn't sell records anymore. They keep the name on the outside of the store. It was only CDs and DVDs and games. And it was all Japanese artists. Not a single Western artist. Their Western section was minuscule. So I got to scratch them. That was technically the closest. Well, no, actually, Hard Off has got records. It's up the street from me. I'm going to go check them out this week. They have a lot of jazz, and they got a lot of used records, and of course they got a lot of used gear. But we'll get there. I'll have my stereo set up by next week. Still digging out. We went from 1,800 square feet in San Francisco to 1,200 square feet in Okayama to 800 square feet here. So it's kind of like 800. But the thing is
that makes me feel bad. Since I've got my house is 1,600 square feet, so I feel badly that I won't complain about being cramped. Let me address Manny. Let me address Manny's comment. This is about Stevie Ray. Manny, I think that, for one thing, that Dumble alone would have overdriven that venue. And I'm guessing that they might have told Stevie, and he just said, fuck it. Because that was a time when he was drinking and snorting. So they may have said, so who can tell? But they certainly didn't do anything about it.
Speaking of Stevie, a different Stevie, the guy that joined our last live stream, he was in the Philippines. And when we were on the call with him, what you don't know is that he got really sick there. He went swimming in this area, a public area, and had bacteria in the water, and he got dysentery, and he was laid up. He had to have penicillin treatment, it's like Montezuma's Revenge. If you've ever been to Mexico and you know what that is. So he just landed in the UK earlier today, but he sends his regards. I just wanted to let you know that he was okay.
Well, a lot of times, people think, okay, it's the water or whatever that's bad in Mexico or it's whatever. It's just that, if I travel from the West Coast to the East Coast, you're going to be, sub to a bacteria that you're not used to seeing, and that's why a lot of the times that you get sick, it isn't that, it's just the water has certain bacteria in it that your body is not used to. If you stay there a long time, you'll be fine.
Although I think if he had dysentery, that was. Well,
then the water quality was bad where he was swimming. Yeah.
He claims. He says near renal failure.
Really?
It was that bad. Yeah.
Jesus.
So it took him a while to get. Luckily, his partner is a registered nurse. She's a nurse in an operating room in the UK.
Wow.
Well,
sorry to drop a turd in the punch bowl.
I had a friend. I had a friend in one of my stints in grad school, Barney. And Barney went to take care of some of his student loans. Joined the Peace Corps, and went to Sri Lanka and contracted a parasite, and just about died. And they sent him out. They sent him back home. He collected, and he really wasn't supposed to. He also collected a Sri Lankan wife, the lovely Ravini.
They still have the Peace Corps?
Well, that was 92
or
something, 93, 92, 93. So I don't know. Anyway, he got back, and he'd been back a few months, and he got a letter was sent to the personal representative of the estate of Mr. Barney Lindsley, saying that because of Mr. Lindsley's death, his student loans had been forgiven.
That's nice.
Yeah, he was still alive. So he was able to write back and say, "The reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated."
I'm going to be setting up my music room. I'm going to be setting up my music room, and I want to ask you guys a question about near field listening. Okay, it's my understanding that if you have reflections in a room, that if you are seated up close to your speakers in a monitor style listening setup, that you have just as good of a listening experience as you do in a larger room with sound treatment. Am I right about that?
Yeah, correct. Every room's different, but if you're going to set up the speakers exactly like a monitor style, because I've seen your speakers. You're still using the same ones?
I am, and also I got a pair as a gift before I left Okayama. They're a lot smaller, but I'm going to go with my large speakers first. Put those smaller speakers on top. I got a pair of bookshelves from a friend of mine. They're handmade, and they have a Bose. They have a large. They have a Bose and then a smaller tweeter. They're two-way, and they were tuned. He designed them because he's a drummer and a bass player, so they're very strong on bass, and I listen to them. They're not as good as my larger speakers.
Bookshelf speakers are, there's no replacement for displacement. It's hard to get good bass out of a bookshelf.
He built a lot of speakers. The thing is, in Japan, rooms are small. Probably my room is only 100 square feet for listening. So I've got challenges on the small side. I may have to trade. I may have to get rid of.
Yeah, we'd heard about that, Michael.
Yeah, so you got internet set up in your room and stuff. So how hard was it to get internet set up and stuff? I mean, do you have the same speed as you had at like your old place?
So fiber is ubiquitous in Japan. Everybody's got fiber. Now, when you're living in a multi-unit building, like a multi-tenant building, fiber comes into the whole building, but then the distribution style of it is a little bit, there's trade-off. So our distribution is copper in the building. So I have VDSL as my VDSL as my interface in my apartment. My up speed is 50 megs and my down speed is 50 megs. If I want the best, I'll have to use Ethernet to the router. and get, and just have guaranteed speed. So 50 megs. What are you getting in Las Vegas?
Oh, I'm getting. I'm gonna just run a speed test now. I got the fastest thing. I got what's called Gigablast, which is the fastest you
That's
get, the
cable, right?
highest. No, it's Hold on. I'll tell you in a second. So, well, wait, what are your megabits per second that you get?
50 up and 50 down.
I got about 260.
Very good.
About 75.
Very good. Much better than me.
Well, aren't you in the country?
But you don't need that much. I'm
you
in
don't.
a small city. Yeah, you don't. But you need uninterrupted service, right? And so my last link is Wi-Fi, and I'm looking at my Wi-Fi meter here on my screen, and it's been waffling since we've been doing the live stream together. So my my wireless router is 10 feet away from me. I really need to go wired for live.
Yeah, Ethernet cable straight into it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, so you don't even have a record player set up and stuff. So how you listen to music?
We've been here a week, Bobby. I'm unpacking.
No, I know you're unpacking. I'm a jerk, though. He's like Michael. Tell me about your hobbies while you're unpacking an ocean of boxes. I know. That's like the question I've asked you like every single time I talk to you. Have your system up yet? The system set up? Because every room is different, man. You may find that system is like sounds wonderful in the room you have now. You know what I mean? It might even be better.
It might even be better. I can't wait to set it up. And of course, Mandy's asked me a question here. Do most people in Japan have smaller cars? Yes. Smaller homes? Yes. Smaller wives? Yes. Yeah. I mean,
smaller everything there. Yeah.
They think 3D. They think in 3D. That's why when you go to a store here, it's like like organizers. Like for
why do you think Michael moved to Japan? Right? Yeah.
I can't read between the lines with this guy.
His money goes farther. That's why I moved there.
Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah.
No, and because it's freaking audiophile heaven where he is.
That's right.
Shit, I'd freaking might move there if I ever get to retire. Social Security keeps moving the damn age back, man. Like what was when it used to be like 55 or something?
60 used to be able to retire at 62.
What was it in 1980?
1980, I think it was 65, but there was a period when you could retire at 62.
No, and that's what it is now.
Now, really, they moved it up to 67, but if you want full benefits, you have to wait until you're 70.
That's bullshit. 70?
Yeah.
I think that sounds ridiculous.
66.
I ain't going to make it to 66. Because my dad started collecting at 62, and he died at 63. So I guess that's the plan, because most people don't make it past that. So it's a big fucking scam. You pay into it and you never get to fucking collect. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I have friends who are collecting at 60 and 62. I mean, the trade-off is you don't get as much, but you get it earlier.
Yeah.
So
I think I could. I know. Well, I'm 65 now. I could retire, but
Are you collecting or no?
No, I'm working.
Yeah.
I mean, you can collect and work.
I have to work to keep. Yeah, but if you do, you end up paying basically as much as you pay back. Just it's like it's worthless to do that.
Got it.
So I've got to pay for my hobbies. Speaking of hobbies and speaking of
yes,
I think we had a topic for tonight, right?
We did, and here it is. I'll just introduce it on the verbally as it's coming up. You see that yet?
The answer is no. Of course not. What a dumb question. Who thought of that? Michael, we need to get somebody else to do this, okay? You keep coming up with these dumb topics. No, of course it's not a mental disorder. Good grief.
Michael. It could be, though, but it could be argued. Come on, let's play devil's advocate here. A lot of record collectors, some will have, okay, there are record collectors that don't have, a lot of records, and they have their little Crosley Cruiser suitcase turntable. And then there are record collectors that are swimming in freaking 4,000 to 5,000, maybe even 6,000 records.
There are some who have who you look at them, they have like walls of albums behind them.
No,
now,
but
those people I worry about.
Yeah. Well, no, but for some, like, it's something.
I wouldn't do anything like that.
Well, please. I bet you have over 1,000 records.
Yeah. You know what I have now? What? I have three Sansui SR 525 turntables.
3 of the same?
It becomes an addiction almost, man. I mean, because I
kept watching this goddamn SR 525. I bought one to buy it, and then the other one I bought because it came with a bundle of an amp and receiver I wanted. And then this other one came up on Facebook Marketplace, and I kept watching, and the price kept going down. And I said, "Oh fuck it, I'm gonna go buy it."
Yeah, so, of course. But that's the thing. It's like you have your friends over.
It came with the box, and I had the box around. I was going to show you the box. It came with the box. It came with the literature. I bought it from the son of the original owners, and who are still living. He was just selling it for him.
It's brand new. I mean, how the hell can you pass on something like that? You know what I mean?
It came with the Great Mystery cartridge, the Sansui SV27. Nobody knows who manufactured it. Great sound.
The stylus.
It's shot, but I have another. I have another one, and I had another stylus. So, but I haven't mounted it yet. It didn't come with the right head shell. So I've ordered, I just got another cartridge on it now, another Sansui, an SV43, which is an Audio-Technica AT10, which is a perfectly fine cartridge. But I wanted the SV27 was the original cartridge. My brother wants one of these, so I've got two in the box, and one of them I have in the box and with the original purchase letter. The sales receipt.
Have you guys ever built
a stock warehouse, Dan? You sound like you live in a stock warehouse.
Yeah, I kind of do.
Have you ever built one of those shock absorbing place to put your turntable on? Like you build like a platform and you fill it with sand, like a sandbox?
No, I haven't done that. I have thought about doing that, but I've just got I have I got a big slab of live edge oak walnut, excuse me, and I've got a couple of other slabs. And what I do is I mount the turntables on these big thick slabs of stuff, and then I put foam. Then I put foam under them. So I rest those on foam blocks, and then I put them on the the live edge looks nice. So I put it on there, and then I set it up, and I don't have a problem with those with things bouncing around. So,
yeah, no, I mean, it's great when you do that and stuff like that. A lot of I built one of those before. I mean, they're heavy and hell, but you're never going to get any skips. You're never going to get any footfalls. It's just, it's like the same thing to do. If they don't have it anymore, but you guys remember when you used to go to a dance club and there'd be DJs actually spinning vinyl. You'd have the DJ with a setup. He'd have like racket balls underneath it with like cement things and all sorts of stuff set up so that it doesn't skip from all the dancing.
Yeah. Well, I ain't dancing much.
No, but back in the 70s, man. I mean, they're not spinning vinyl anymore now, at clubs.
Man, I remember I've either lived in really rural places or have been in you know, I don't get out much. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So the old man.
Well, I don't know if I can find slabs of marble here. I'd probably pay a pretty penny. One thing that you can get here that's really cheap is concrete blocks, like at home center stores. You think concrete would be a good isolator?
Yeah.
Anything, look, you add mass, you put the mass there, and concrete's good because it's it doesn't it's not particularly resonant, right?
Right.
I mean, anything will have a resonance, but concrete's going to be, it's going to be a pretty muddy sort of resonance, so you shouldn't have a real issue with that. So yeah, concrete blocks, and then foam.
I use concrete, foam, and I've used all sorts of different stuff. Sand.
There's the tire tube thing, which I've seen described.
Yeah.
And
I've never done the tire tube thing. Have you guys?
No,
they're not really aesthetically good looking.
Well, you have to set it. It's like the sandbox.
Yeah, you have to set it up nice.
Well, yeah, and you have to have basically sort of a tray. You put this, your sandbox in there, or you do your tire tube, and then you rest a piece of wood that's almost exactly the same size as your tray. So you don't see the sand, don't see much of the sand, and you don't see the tire tube. Yeah. I just don't know because when you compress the tire, if you compress the tire tube, then it's like, well, what good is it?
Right.
So I'm a little reluctant to do that one, and I'm just too lazy to build a sandbox. Good Lord.
Oh yeah, I mean there are crazy people that freaking build a freaking a thing because if they're on the third floor and they want to put a turntable, they built like a cement thing that goes all the way down to the. I mean, you can go. How far do you want to go, man? How much money do you want to spend?
Michael Fremer money? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you have that type of money, you know what I mean, and you want to buy it, I mean, sure, why not? You know what I mean? Yeah. If you got Bill Gates money, what the fuck? It doesn't matter how much you spend. You're never going to spend all your money.
Yeah, but it's also I bet Fremer's looking around with his $1 million setup or whatever the fuck it is. I'll bet he's looking around saying, I need to tweak this and that and the other thing.
Right.
Sure.
So no, I actually, and in fairness to Michael, I suggested this topic because is it Melinda Murphy or Melissa Murphy? I never can get her name right.
Melinda.
Yeah, and she I don't usually watch her stream. She's a very nice person, or her videos, but I watch them every now and then. And somebody had a friend of hers had said, well, why do you do that? No, so I tend to collect stuff. I tend to get a lot of things, and I get interested in shit. I got a whole bunch of guitars. I got a bunch of turntables, right? So I get interested in stuff, and I tend to buy a bunch of them.
Especially vintage stuff, because people just give it away, and it's just like when you see stuff like that, you're like, I can pick up that table even though I have that same turntable. You're gonna sell it to me for $25? I'll fucking take it. You know what I mean? It's just like, when you see
some of it, it's like, if I don't buy it, some of it I'm like, is this gonna go in the fucking trash?
Right.
It drives me nuts.
But if you have the space, if you got the space, otherwise you're living in a warehouse, and for me, that's not gonna fly.
Yeah.
No, it isn't gonna fly, especially I'm freaking running out of room for records. I probably need to go through some of my collection and thin it out, because all the records I have will not fit in freaking one room. It's not fair. You know what I mean? So it's like, I need to thin my collection quite a bit, because there's a lot of stuff.
I have boxed some stuff up, and I'm going to box more stuff up because, the truth is I ain't listening to it. And I hate selling, I can't get anything for stuff, and I just don't have the patience to try to sell stuff.
Yeah, it's tough too, because then what? Somebody's gonna give you fucking shit because conditions not stated as is, or try to freaking switch records out with you.
You know, and fucking, you know, I'm not, you know, I ain't mailing anything.
Yeah.
Well,
Stopping off at the freaking post office, price stuff out and stuff. No.
No, it's, you know, for me, I would be losing money.
Yeah.
I'd be losing money, and I don't want to deal.
So
with,
do you think there's an odd chance you're going to go back to those records and listen to them in the future, or absolutely not?
You know, I don't know, because my tastes change.
Right. Yeah. You never know, and a lot of that stuff sometimes, you know, you look for a record that you know you have and you can't find it, and then it's in that section. Oh, well, maybe it's in the section of some of the stuff that I boxed up that I don't listen to. You know what I mean? And then you go and you grab it.
Yeah, you know, and stuff will come up, and I'll be like, "Damn, I want to listen to that."
Yeah.
Is the behavior maladaptive? Is it affecting your life negatively? Mark is absolutely right there. I don't recognize Mark. Is Mark last man?
Dave the pickup artist says, "Don't thin the collection, thicken the house."
Yeah. Make the pie higher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have this huge pole shed, and since I got on Beta Blocker, I've had energy to go and organize my pole shed, and it's a nice dry place, and I'm gonna start moving some stuff out there.
If it's waterproof, sure, you could store vinyl out there. I mean, I don't know how well vinyl fares in cold conditions. You got to check what the temperature is going to get. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for.
It's not,
damage.
You know, I mean, it'll get down to negative 35 here or so, but
vinyl's all good for cold, I think, but heat is not good. It doesn't do well with heat.
Yeah. You know, oddly, it has been the last 2 summers here, and this summer, the last 3 summers now, and I'm going to knock on wood, have been mild. No one on their deathbed ever wished they bought more records. Maybe, Mark, I don't know. You know, I don't know. You know, what do you wish on your deathbed? I don't know.
No, but I mean,
that's always, you know, and I'll say that's one of those arguments that, you know, or one of those assertions that is hard to test. But also it's like, well, you know, is it bringing you, you know, making you happy now? And good Lord, there's, you know, I feel like too little joy in the world. Why not have that? And, you know, and really one of the things I want to talk about with, you know, for Melinda Murphy was, I was pissed off at the guy who smack talked her. What the fuck business is it of anybody else's?
So who was smack talking her?
Some friend was saying, you know, what was going on. You know, obviously people in the vinyl community aren't going to say you've got too many records, you know. You know, they might say you've got too many turntables. I'm up to about 70 now, I think.
Well, yeah, but see, that's the thing. Who the fuck gives a shit? I mean, if you like it and it makes you happy, that's what's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the premise of her video, right? The premise of her video was, you know, I like records, but I have friends who have kind of dumped me because they can't relate to my collecting passion, right?
I learned
it doesn't even be collecting stamps or cars or what. Well, you know, collecting is collecting. Go on.
Well, how many cars does Jay Leno have?
Well, no, and exactly. And see, the argument is like, well, people say, well, I can have all this music on a little thumb drive and stuff. But ask yourself this question. Are you going to sit through a freaking file and go, you know, and look at through freaking 1,600 artists and stuff?
It's like, that's what they want to do. I don't give a damn.
Right. You can do that.
I like albums and I like turntables. So yeah, I got a bunch.
I would rather freaking, you know, look through my section, set it in order where I know where everything is and say, okay, do I want to listen to jazz today? Oh, I remember that album.
Manny, stop talking about me. I know you're talking about me.
Yeah. You go pull the record. You're like, okay, I remember that album. I remember who I was fucking when I bought that album, right?
Yeah.
You know, every time you pull out a record, it brings back memories. You know.
I'm like, you know, part of okay, I've done this thing lately where I bought 2 small sailboats recently because I wanted I've got a little sunfish. I want to teach my daughter to sail, but a sunfish is not a very big sailboat, and it's kind of awkward. So I went over this boys camp over in Wisconsin and was selling these slightly larger sailboats that are much roomier and much better for teaching someone to sail. So I went over and bought one, and it was real cheap. Just dirt cheap. And because they're off in nowhere in Wisconsin, out in the middle of nowhere. And it's like they said, nobody wants to come up and look at them. And then they had another one there. I looked at it, and it was a really fun looking one. And, so I went back and bought it yesterday. Well, when I drove up, I let Apple Maps tell me how to go, which was a mistake and not a mistake. And it sent me into this area of Minnesota, the Arrowhead area of Minnesota, that kind of pokes out into Wisconsin. And it's quite close to me. And it was just miles of, almost nothing, some little tiny towns, some old houses and, the occasional farm, a lot of it just, but a lot of just, woods and stuff. And I stopped at a place, Duquette, and the Duquette General Store. And, man, it was just it's fun. It was just fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I wouldn't have done that if I weren't going over to pick up that little sailboat. And I had a drive, an hour of that drive was just magnificent. So, that's something I get joy out of that too. I'll remember that. I'll remember that. I hope,
well, you're out living. You're not just sitting at home on your ass.
Yeah. So, yeah, do those things. And, it's like, I get it, I go out, go searching for stuff like that, or I'll, find a record somewhere. And, it's like, like you were saying, Bobby, the memories are just, it's just like, oh yeah, I remember buying that, man. I remember finding that, in a damned, at a damned, sometimes I go to flea markets, and find a flea market. I found some cool stuff at flea markets.
Yeah.
We're at the hour mark. We're at the hour mark. And I want to recognize Mark Lassman for visiting us. And I want to recognize Davey Strange Name for visiting us, who you guys are not familiar with, but I am. And Manny and Cool Transports. And Marius just got back from Poland. He didn't come here today, but he'll be back. And
I want to mention Davey.
And Dave, the pickup artist.
Yeah, Davey, strange name. Davey, Melinda, I don't think she has particularly good taste in music. And she bought a Rega Planar 6 or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, oh God, you got suckered. I ain't buying no Regas. So yeah, I get it. I'm sorry, vinyl is not better than streaming. Not if you got the right setup for streaming. I just like it, I fucking like vinyl. So yeah. So anyway,
it just depends. It also it depends. You know what I mean? It depends on freaking where the record was mastered, what the source is, what this is, what that. I mean, it just depends. But like I said, if you like streaming, go for it. If you like vinyl, go for it. To say one's better than the others is personal preference. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
All right, Dan, you gonna take us out with that French chick?
Oui, c'est, mes enfants, nous disons à vous, vous êtes très jolis, vous êtes très intelligents. Nous vous aimons et nous disons à vous au revoir et aussi
au revoir.
Au revoir.